All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are tackling a huge topic, the very real issues and challenges that come with development. We're going to break down all of Unit 4 from your geography curriculum into pieces that are super clear and easy to understand. And hey, a special shout out to all of Mr. Chi's grade 11 geography students. This one's for you. Seriously, think of this as your secret weapon to absolutely nail this unit and crush those exams. We're going to get you ready. So, here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off with the big picture challenges, then zoom right in on the crucial role of women. From there, we'll look at the environmental price tag of progress, figure out who's supposed to be doing what, and then, at the end, we'll tie it all together. A perfect roadmap to get you through it. Okay, Section 1. Look, before we get into all the specifics, you gotta understand that development is not some simple, straight line to success. It's a really messy, complicated journey, and it's filled with some serious obstacles that every single country has to figure out how to get around. So yeah, if it's not just about building more stuff or making more money, what is it really about? Well, the real challenge is they kind of fall into two giant categories that are totally connected. The human dimension, how development actually affects people, especially the most vulnerable, and the environmental dimension, the impact all our growth has on the planet itself. So let's do our first deep dive into that human dimension, and we're going to focus specifically on the role of women. I got to tell you, this isn't just some side topic. It is absolutely at the center of whether development actually works or completely fails. And to get this right, we need a really important tool called gender analysis. Basically, it's just a way of looking at any situation and asking, okay, how does this affect men and women differently? Who gets the resources? Who has the power to make decisions? If you don't use this lens, your development projects can just completely miss the point. Now this is where things get really interesting, because you see this huge gap. On paper, you've got the Universal Declaration of Human Rights from way back in 1948, guaranteeing equality. But the reality? What's actually happening on the ground? It is a totally different story. In way too many countries, women's voices just aren't being heard where it matters most. And this number just makes that point so clearly. An average of less than 8% female representation in parliaments across Africa. Think about that. When half the population is that underrepresented, you really have to ask yourself, whose interests are these development policies actually serving? It's a pretty stark number. But here's the flip side. Here is where we see a solution that is so powerful. Educating women, it's not just about that one person's future. It creates this amazing ripple effect that goes on for generations. More than 10 years of school literally changes everything. Families are healthier, kids get a much better start in life, and the entire community gets a boost. The key takeaway here is that investing in girls' education is probably one of the smartest development investments a country could ever make. And you see this imbalance in the economy too. This table shows a fundamental injustice. In a huge part of the world, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, women are the backbone of the entire rural economy. They're doing most of the work to produce food. But, as the text says, they get unjust rewards and an inferior quality of life. This is not just unfair on a human level. It's just plain bad economics. Okay, so we've looked at the human cost when development is out of balance. Now, let's flip the coin and look at the other side, the planetary cost. Because every single step forward we take, well, it leaves a footprint on the Earth. The big question we have to ask is, are we trying to build a better future on a foundation that we are destroying at the same time? This slide just lays out that central conflict perfectly. On one hand, of course, we need to build and expand to improve people's lives. But on the other, that same expansion puts this incredible pressure on our natural world. Just imagine, a country might need to clear a forest to make farmland to feed its people. That's a good goal, right? But the consequence is deforestation and soil erosion that, in the long run, could actually hurt their ability to grow food. It's a constant, really difficult balancing act with our environment. And here you can see exactly how that pressure can spiral into a total disaster. It's like a chain reaction. You get growth, but without proper rules, and that leads to untreated waste just getting dumped into our water sources. And this isn't some far-off abstract problem. It has devastating consequences for real people. When rivers get polluted, people who depend on that water get sick with diseases like cholera. Fishing communities can lose everything. The true cost of development is so often paid by the poorest people because they're the ones most exposed to the fallout. Okay, so we've got these huge human and environmental challenges on the table. So that leads us to a really critical question. Who is responsible for dealing with all this? Who is supposed to be steering the ship of development to make sure we don't hit these icebergs? Well, the answer is it's a partnership. The state, the government, it isn't supposed to do everything by itself. Its job is to set the rules of the game, to create a fair, stable, and sustainable framework. And then business comes in to actually play the game, to innovate, create jobs, and push the economy forward, all within those rules. They have totally different but complementary roles. So what does the state's job actually look like? Well, it really comes down to these three things. First, passing smart laws that both encourage economic growth and protect the most vulnerable people. Second, and this one is so important, actually enforcing those laws. That creates stability. And third, having a realistic long-term strategy for sustainable development. And here is a fantastic real-world example of this partnership from South Africa. The government there created strategies like Spatial Development Initiatives, or SDIs, and Industrial Development Zones, IDZs. The easiest way to think of these is like special zones that have extra incentives, like tax breaks or better roads, designed to attract businesses. The whole point is to guide private investment and jobs to specific areas that really need them, which gives the entire regional economy a major boost. All right, let's head into our final section and put all of these pieces together. We've talked about the people, we've talked about the planet, and we've talked about the main players. Now, let's connect all these ideas and figure out the main takeaway for this entire unit. Before we get to that final summary, I just want to leave this quote up for a second. It's pulled right from your study material, and man, it just cuts right to the heart of everything we've been talking about. You simply cannot achieve sustainable economic development if you leave half of your talent sitting on the sidelines. It's really that simple. So here it is, the crucial takeaway. If you remember only one thing from this whole unit, let it be this. Real development isn't just about one thing. It's like a three-legged stool. You need to be advancing human well-being, protecting the environment, and fostering economic growth, all at the same time. If any one of those legs is weak, the whole thing just comes crashing down. And to finish up, I want to leave you with a question to really think about and maybe debate with your friends. It's a tough one. If you had limited resources and you had to pick just one priority to kickstart everything else, would you choose empowering women or protecting the environment? Think about all the connections, all the ripple effects. There is no easy answer here, but forcing yourself to choose, it really makes you think about how deeply connected all these issues are. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into Unit 4. I really hope this helped you connect all the dots. Now, to keep learning and to get more amazing content to help you crush your exams, please make sure you connect with Mr. Chi online. Go follow him on Instagram and TikTok, like his page on Facebook, and you have to subscribe on YouTube. And hey, do your friends a favor and share this explainer with your classmates. Good luck with all your studies.